Well, ladies and gentlemen, so welcome to another video of understanding, the element of astrology, the elements of astrology, and obviously today we're going to be covering the polar opposite of Rahu. Last week I covered understanding Rahu. So I'm like, well, it's only makes sense if I cover the other end of Rahu, the tail of Rahu, which is known as Ketu, the south node of the moon. And I'm going to try to show you why Ketu is just as important as Rahu. Because many of you might have seen the symbol of yin yang, right? The circle with the black and white shape, the Chinese symbol. Well, this is why you cannot have Rahu without Ketu, and Ketu cannot exist without Rahu, which also represents our own self. We can't live without, certain elements in our life and think that the other element is all there is to. Kind of like happiness and fear, day and night. So, south node of the moon, Ketu. And before we get started, if you want to know where your Ketu is placed, what sign it's in, what nakshatra it's in, which house it's really affecting you with your past life karmas and the experiences that you bring in this life, for that, check out the links here. Check out my full astrological report, including my books, Astrology, Conjunction, Aspects, and Mahadashas at the Speed of Light, including all my consultations at this link. So night vision is infrared technology. This is why Ketu it's part of representing military industrial complex, because they use the night vision goggles to hunt. They use infrared technology to see what's happening in the body. And any animal that sees at night, that hunts at night, are also represented by Ketu. Kind of like serpents, cats, rats, dogs. Dogs have a great vision at night. So Ketu says, that's okay if there's no light, because I still see everything. That's the main logical explanation of Ketu, why Ketu brings this darkness. This is why anytime you run into Ketu Mahadasha, a person always feels separated from its element. It feels isolated from its element. No matter if you're in investment banking or you're in IT or you're a surgeon in Ketu period, internally you just feel isolated and you look for something higher than yourself to understand who you are. So what Ketu is like this headless planet that's now looking within the body itself to understand what it is. And this is why Ketu represents isolated places like jails, asylums, monasteries, spiritual sanctuaries. Because you have to be isolated from the normal 5 elements, the elements that we know, to really understand God. Because you have to look within, in the darkest of places, the most microscopic of places, to understand God. But why is another reason Ketu represents moksha, enlightenment, to really find peace within? And this is something that I learned from A.V. Sundaram. He's a brilliant astrologer. He's a Nadi astrologer. And if you realize Ketu, what is the original Trikon signs, the trinal signs in Vedic astrology or even astrology? Aries, Leo, Sagittarius represents the dharma triangle. Dharma, which represents a righteous path. Without the dharma, we don't exist, because it's a triangle. You need a triangle to create a space, to create something, so something can sustain itself within. So the dharma triangle is actually Ketu. Without Ketu, we do not exist. Why? Think about it. This is why it's very important to think like an astrologer. Not think like a lover of astrologer, but to think like an astrologer. Because the first nakshatra of the Trikon sign is ruled by Ketu. Aries, Ashwani. Leo, Magha. Sagittarius, Mula. This is why they're known as the spiritual triangle, not the moksha triangle, the dharma triangle, that helps you realize the space that you are living under, which is created by God, the fire of God. And because it rules the first nakshatra of the dharma triangle, shows when you follow your dharma, you realize God, what God is. This is why Ketu has been given the very first nakshatra in the dharma triangle. Second reason why Ketu represents spirituality and to truly understand God on a level without bias. Why? Ketu, first of all, what are we made of? We are made of our body, our memory, and our senses. Okay? These are the three things we are really made of. So, if let's say your body dies, that is represented by Ketu. Ketu represents dead bodies. Because to know God, you don't need a body. You don't need a body to know God. Why? Because the soul is eternal. However, the job of Ketu is to separate you from three elements that are wasteful and unnecessary to realize God, which is number one, body. Number two, it's your memory. We as humans think that, oh yes, I know what God is. God is love. God is this. God is that. I know spirituality because I take care of my spouse. I take care of my children. I love my family members. So I know God exists within me. But let's say somebody was to wipe your memory out. And there are technologies out there. They probably just scanned something on your head. Your memory is completely wiped out. Your hard drive is completely wiped out. So if your family members, your children came in front of you, you'll be like, okay, who are these people? What am I supposed to do with them? I'm not attached to them. No, I'm not going to serve them. That's my father. No, it can't be my father. I don't even know who my father is. So this is a false thing, our memories, our thoughts that we attach to things. God loves me because I love my spouse. But if somebody was to wipe your memory out, you will not know who that person is. So Ketu separates you from that element of memory. He says, no, don't think through your memory you can understand God and what God is. So that's Ketu separates you from that. Then the third element is your senses. Touch, feel, taste, ego. And all these three layers have to shed in order for you to excel to different lokas as a spirit. Because when body dies, it's not like you just completely go. No, there are hours and hours where body is there, the soul is trying to get back in. There's a struggle because it has the memory, it has the senses. This is why people have after-death experiences of seeing everything, seeing what was happening in the room. It's not ready to detach. So Ketu separates you from that. And once you're separated from memories of people that you're attached to, the ego that you have created within you, of what things are and how things should work, and the body that makes you think that, yes, I'm able to think about God, so I know God. No. Ketu says the spirit within you is what is able to understand things to the most purest level. So this is why Ketu then becomes important. Because if we just have Rahu, let's say there was no Ketu, there would be no moral standards. Honestly, we may think Rahu, Ketu as malefic planets, asuras, malevolent energies. But without Ketu, you will not have any moral obligations to anybody. Because we would be just like taking from this person, taking from that person, taking from that person, taking from that person. Without ever having that moral conscience that, okay, maybe taking this and, destroying this person's family. God, I wonder, I hope I don't get punished. I hope I don't, suffer the consequences. So Rahu is trying to grab it. What Ketu does, it becomes this kind of like a signal of purity. Like whatever you're doing, what is the reason behind it? What's the consequences of grabbing that thing? Should you be grabbing that thing or should you not? Or should you limit yourself? So this is why we have some moral standards. This is why you have people who want more. Okay, I want more, I want to make more. But yet morally they know they can't just go and rob somebody. Because if they do, there'll be consequences. That becomes the tail. Because this is why Rahu represents our past. Is due to the past, we are here in the future. So because of our past life experiences, the accumulated experiences that Ketu represents, Moon represents, many like 9th house represents. But Ketu shows that, look, Rahu, I'm trying to help you. I know you want to become just as good as God, bigger than God. But look, there's going to be consequences because you cannot break the laws of physics of God. So this is why we think Ketu has this complete negative energy. Oh my God, like I got a divorce and in my Ketu period, I had no money in Ketu period. I had no friends in Ketu period. And that is the ability to see the world through Rahu. And this is why when we understand Ketu, when we try to understand Ketu, what Ketu is, that's when we understand that yes, Ketu is trying to help us to realize that the breakup that happened, the divorce that happened, it is a material detachment. It's not a spiritual detachment. So Ketu says, this relationship is not serving you, your higher self. This relationship is not helping you to realize your true essence of self, your soul. So why do I want to let you be with this person? Gives a divorce, separates a person. Persons is indulged, and you will realize this. People who are absolutely obsessed with money and status are the one who suffer in Ketu period. People who are always just thinking about money, money, money. Jewelry, diamonds, this, that. They were the one who suffer because Ketu says, look, I am now operating in your life as a Mahadasha. You have been thinking too much about money and you think you can reach God through money. I don't know how you can see God through money. I don't know how to do that. So my job is to show you God through my way. Here, I'm going to take the money out so you can understand who you are. See, remember, here's the thing. Every planet is trying to get you closer to God. That's it. That's the most essence, basic level of planets in astrology. This is something you will learn in my school, my online school next year. That each planet, when it does something, it's not doing it because it hates you. It's not even in a way bringing karma into play. It's simply saying, because my time is operating, I'm going to have to do something to help you get closer to God. The best way I know how. Not the best way you think you can reach God, but the best way I know how. So when Ketu period comes, this is why person feels isolated. This is why I see so many people during my consultations. Whenever they're going through Ketu Mahadasha, they're looking into ascension, Vedic astrology, spirituality. They're wanting to attend meditation classes, yoga classes. So after seeing so many horoscopes, this is why I was able to accumulate the information in my Mahadasha book that I just released of what Ketu is trying to do to them. So the things that I describe of the Karkavastha of each planet is what it's just trying to show you your ultimate connection with the source energy. So Venus may do it with love, relationship. Jupiter may do it with education, knowledge. Saturn may do it through hard work, commitment, and duty. Ketu does it from separation. So each planet is just simply trying to show you, like in Rahu period, person is confused, misguided, misled. They want to get all the things in life. I want. And then you will realize in Rahu Mahadasha, when a person makes it, when they become rich in Rahu Mahadasha, they're never satisfied with it. They're never happy with it. They're like, so I got now $10 million and I'm still just as miserable as I was before. What the hell is going on? Maybe from 10 million, I need to make 20 million. So he makes 20 million, still unsatisfied. Then in Rahu period, he realizes that, you know what? Wow, that one meditation class and sitting under that Babaji or that Guru, I had the most pleasurable, most wonderful time versus I could ever get in paying $5,000 for a dinner plate. So what Rahu then does, its energy itself is trying to get you closer to God, is that it shows that I'm going to give you so much material wealth so you can finally realize that having every one of these things will not make you happy because you are not this thing. You are a soul. A soul's happiness will only come through by connecting to the things which is known as the source energy. So this is why Ketu keeps that balance. Yin, yang, yin, yang. So people may think like, well, in Rahu period, I should just go after money, and then I'll wait till Ketu comes and then I will, do my spiritual practices. No, that's not how it works. You have to keep a balance of everything. Remember, yin yang is about the balance. Everything is equal in yin yang. It's not like the black part is 25% and then the white part is 75%. It's the balance. So you can't just keep working because you'll exhaust yourself. You will drive yourself crazy by not having lack of sleep. You should only work enough where you will have enough time for meditation, enough time for calming your mind in meditation. This is why Ketu is a karka of meditation. And this is why you see, especially now that we are in a transition from Kal Yug to Drap Yug, and many will have, controversial statements like Kal Yug is 450,000 years or this is that many years. But everybody has their own notion. But one thing you guys forget to realize, and this is something I learned from Parash itself, it was just amazing, like people are living in all 4 yugs at the same time on this planet. So if let's say you take Yogananda, Sadhguru, you take Himalayan Babaji, they're living in Satyug. Then you have all your movie stars and film stars running for fame, running for this, they're living in Kal Yug. Then you have people who are wanting to create things so they can help the world. And they're indulged in creating those things. They don't care for money. They don't even care for spirituality of God as much, but they just simply want to create something so they can build something better for humanity. Well, that is Drap Yug. There are people who only are fascinated by yagnas and homas. They always like to attain all the homas because they feel at calm, they feel at peaceful. They're living in Satyug. Satyug and Tratyug was all about homas and havans. This is why whenever you went to any temple or any astrologer in these yugs, you took either samagri, wood, coconut, things which were money in those time periods. There was no cash money in there. The money was actually things so they can perform their homas, they can perform their yagnas. That was money. This is why nowadays people give money to astrologer, people give money to a pundit, because now this is the Kal Yuga where things have to be done in a certain way. But energy was always there. There was have to be exchange of energy. So this is why it's very important to understand with Ketu that you have to have a balance. All four yugas, and this is a deeper meaning. And these are all the meanings that I kind of just realized on my own self being in Sedona, sitting under a tree doing nothing, absolutely nothing. That's where all these thoughts were reaming up. That we as human beings, no need to wait for a yuga to arrive. We can live in all four yugas, and we need to live in all four yugas in a balance in our life. Your day should be divided into four yugas. In the early morning, you should be doing your meditation. Then you should be doing your yagnas and havans. Then you should be going to work. Then you should be trying to help this world and to build something for this world. And then you should come back home and you should be in a state of Ketu. And that's what it is. But obviously we're now in a transition from Kal Yuga through to Drap Yuga, which is like a 25-year or 2500-year time phase. So we are living in a very amazing period where we're not only witnessing 2 centuries from 19th to 20 or 21st to 22nd century, 19th to 20th, but we're also transitioning from one yuga to the other. This is why that ascension process is coming. This is why I'm being hit with it like no other. You guys have no idea. I mean, and remember, spirituality, which Ketu brings, he brings it with a bang. See, Rahu Ketu have this surprise element to themselves. That they always surprise you with things. This is why, I forgot the name of the karma. I think it is called either Sanchita karma or Prarabdha karma. I'm not sure, don't quote me on it. One of the karmas come as a surprise. This is why Rahu Ketu always bring things in surprises. Whether it's a good surprise or bad surprise. Because these are the karmas that have been performed 50 lifetimes ago, 100 times ago, lifetimes ago, that you're just getting reaping those results now. This is why especially Avery Sundaram said that why is it that a billionaire exists who is killing people, murdering people, raping women, and yet he's a billionaire? Whether he's a cartel or something else. Why? Because he is reaping the good results of the things that he did 50 lifetimes ago. So he got the great results. Perhaps 20 lifetimes ago he did something so bad. Well then, while he's getting his billions, people are after him, government is after him, he's probably going to get shot. That's that surprise karma that comes into play. So that hit of the bang, that comes, bam, that also happens in spiritual life as well. Spiritual life is, first of all, not the easiest life. It is a hard path that you must walk through in order to really realize that spiritual essence. Meaning, like, if imagine this as a heated platform, it's burning, right? They drop you here, you burn, and then finally on the other side you come out as a gold brick. That's what spirituality is. So you're a human, you get burned, and the alchemy starts. Transformation starts. You're feeling the heat, you're feeling the burn, you can't take this, you want to run away, you want to go back to this place. But once you do make it, finally you're like as a gold brick comes out. That's how, even my process has hit. Like, I stopped eating red meat 4 months ago. And this is something not I left. Oh, I'm never going to eat red meat. So I'll be honest. I have cut it down. I wanted to cut it down by 80%. For some reason, I've cut it down to 99%. Because remember, eating meat is not a bad thing or a good thing. It's all in the eye of the believer. Because remember, people who follow and are great bhakt of Durga, who was actually standing on top of Shiva. There's a whole story behind it. People who worship Durga, they actually sacrifice animal. They actually sacrifice, goats and whatnot. They don't do cows, but they sacrifice them. They drink alcohol. So you talk to that person. If let's say you are a Krishna follower, you're probably completely, very vegan. And then you have a bhakt of Durga. And the bhakt of Durga will be putting Durga on a pedestal or above even Krishna. And he'll give you all the philosophy, all the, educational things for you to realize, why eating meat is okay. Where they will give you the story, how Shiva put meat on top of the Shivling in front of Parvati. He disguised himself as an old man. And Parvati was disgusted by it. Said, take this nasty stuff off of my Shivling. I'm trying to impress Shiva. So then the old man says, is this not pure? She says, no. I said, then you don't know God. If you think this meat that I'm holding is not pure and a part of me and a part of God, then you don't know anything. If you look at this one story of Guru Nanak, this is why sages and yogis are represented by Ketu, because they do not put their feelings into play. They do not use their crazy mind that we have into play. So Guru Nanak saw a goat being hit by three kids in front of his shop. They owned the shop, and these were 3 young teenagers or young adults. They were hitting the goat and beating the goat, and then Guru Nanak looked at it and laughed. And the person who was with Guru Nanak was like, what are you doing? Why are you laughing? They're hitting the goat, the poor goat. And Guru Nanak says, this goat is their father who used to abuse them, hit them. So that goat is getting worse because he was such a saint like Sai Baba. When he saw you, he didn't see you as a person who's innocent, nice, and fluffy. He saw you with all your karmas. He saw you, the great things you're bringing in this world, the bullshit that you bring in this world. So if a yogi saw you get killed, he probably won't be doing anything. Or if you came to a yogi, please help me. These people are going to kill me. Yogi will probably take a knife and slash your throat, and then you'll be like, oh my God, he's a yogi. How did he do that? Well, probably because killing you, the yogi just probably saved 500 people that you might have killed, whether you shot them or whether your business or whether it was your drug that you discovered would be sold in the market to kill these 500 or 500,000 people. So don't think of these things as like, oh my God, well, you're not pure. How can you be spiritual if you're doing this and this and this? Because everybody who is living their karma will easily be able to explain to you. But for me, the realization of Ketu came into play when I ate and I cooked. I was cooking like goat meat and lamb meat 3 times a week. My wife was sick of it. She's like, what do you want to cook? Oh, lamb. It's like, no. And then I would cook. And one day what happened is I cooked baby goat, baby lamb. And then I realized it. Oh my God, I cooked baby goat, baby lamb. But that didn't really make me feel sad. I felt sad, but I'm like excited. I'm like, whoa, I wonder if this tastes better than the actual goat meat I get. So I cooked it. And then I took the first bite in. As soon as I took the first bite in, something within me just shook, where I felt so disgusted of myself. I felt so horrible of a person that I had become, where I was enjoying a baby goat. I took the entire goat thing that I cooked, threw it in a trash can, and since that day I didn't want to touch any red meat. So whether red meat is good or not, I'm like, I don't want to eat cow meat. So something out of that came in where, and then I realized, okay, maybe I shouldn't eat the cow. So I don't eat cow. The only thing that I've been eating is like white meat, chicken, fish. And the first thing that I do now, whenever I get any meat, I pray to it. I actually do, but my wife's like, dude, you don't need to pray that hard. But I'm like, no, I prayed. I'm like, look, thank you for giving me nutrition. Thank you for giving me life. And I'm really sorry that you had to go through this suffering. And I'm releasing you of all the suffering. Go find moksha, be in peace. Go on to the other lokas. You have my blessings. That's when I now eat. That is Ketu. That's Ketu taking over me. So the Kali Yuga, which is ruled by Rahu, is now shifting into Drap Yuga, which is the polar opposite of Ketu. So Drap Yuga will present this transition of, this is why now you see, since 2012 especially, how many spiritual organizations are being coming out. Meditation courses and yoga and Kriya Yoga. Everybody's getting into astrology and numerology, because remember, astrology is a bridge between Parayana Pravidya according to K. and Rao. It's where learning the subjects like mathematics and management and history and engineering leads you to becoming a spiritual yogi, learning about the Vedas, Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana. Astrology is that glue, that one end and the other, and then the person walks from one end to the other. And like, wow, this is what it is. So that's what is happening, and this is why the energy of Ketu is really, really hard. It's really strong. But look, it took such a dramatic thing for it to hit me, where I could have just said no. Yeah, I'm not gonna eat red meat anymore. Life is a life. It's whether it's a male goat or a baby goat, it's alive. Why should I eat it? But Ketu said, oh, you're not listening. You're not listening. I guess I'll have to make you listen from this thing. So when I ate that first bite of that baby goat and I got that image of a little lamb, completely just, it's like I can walk into McDonald's everywhere. I see a Big Mac, which was my favorite burger. I have no feelings towards it. It doesn't make me feel like, oh my God, maybe I should have a bite. Nope, not at all. This is why I cook more Indian food now at home. I cook bhindi, aloo, kidney beans and chickpeas, dal. So I do that. But still, I get breakfast for my kids. They may have like sausage in there, the pig meat. I always pray to it and then I give it to them. So I'm not like these people who are becoming like these activists. I'm just like, you have to go through your own dramatic sledgehammer hit for you to realize and quit meat. Who am I to tell you to not eat meat? I ain't no pure person. I've done crazy stupid shit in my life. I'm just as, bad as anybody out there. So I have no right to tell you what you should eat or not. So this is why I don't think from my mind, which is Ketu. I don't think from my attachments, which is Ketu. And I'm not thinking from my physical body that, yes, look at me, I'm so healthy now, you should do this too. No, I look at it from a completely different level. So you do what you want, but for me, that energy of Ketu is there. So this is why it's so important to understand Ketu, that non-materialistic side. Look, Rahu and Ketu are zest of life. They're zest of life. Just from Rahu and Ketu reading, like if let's say I was to bring out an option on my website and just say Rahu or Ketu reading, or one single planetary reading. Just Rahu and Ketu reading will take like a good hour for me to show you how Rahu and Ketu are operating in your chart and in your life. Just from Rahu Ketu, the yin yang polar energy will show you your entire life pattern. And the reason why these planets are zest, like without them, life is just not as, full of masalas. It's like a dish without masalas. Rahu Ketu add masala. Rahu and Ketu are garlic and onion themselves. Because when I was just talking with Dr. Arjun Pai on this, when the drops of the nectar dropped on the ground when the head was being cut of Rahu or Swabharu. The 2 drops went on the ground and became garlic and onion. And what do we use now? Mostly all the time. I can't live without onion garlic. I mean, it just gives that taste to life, that taste to food. So enjoy both of these. No need to go to one extreme or the other. That's why it's the balance of everything. You have your family duties, yes, but you also have your duties to God and spirituality. And you just gotta balance these both. You gotta have a duty to make money, but you also have a duty to follow your passion. Now you gotta balance these both. So what you wanna do, you wanna work and do the work that you're passionate about, not the work that you're just forcing yourself to do. So that's what this is all about. Okay? So guys, this was my analysis of Rahu, Ketu. They're the same thing. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below. Again, if you want to know where your Ketu is, all my books, reports, consultations, for that, check out the links here. Otherwise, sorry for taking up so much of your time. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.